Imagine a dinner table where almost every guest can change what you see, buy, say, search, or ask a machine. Now put the president at the head. Who is the most powerful person in the room? That is not a riddle. It is a seating plan. One guest controls platforms used by billions. Another sells the phones in their hands. Others provide search, cloud servers, satellites, and frontier AI. At this point, the dessert menu probably needs a privacy policy. None of these executives was elected, yet decisions involving their companies can reach farther than many laws. And somewhere outside this room is the person who pays taxes, buys fuel, loses savings, and supplies the data. Their chair is empty. The table is not imaginary. In September 2025, Trump hosted more than 24 technology leaders at the White House. Zuckerberg, Cook, Altman, Pichai, Nadella, Gates, and others attended. Musk did not. Even billionaire seating charts have plot twists. The image had appeared earlier at Trump's inauguration, where Musk, Zuckerberg, Bezos, and Pichai stood unusually close to power. That was a ceremony. The later dinner looked more like a working relationship. Trump wanted investment, factories, data centers, and American AI dominance. The companies wanted energy, chips, contracts, export rules, and a government that would not regulate them into a museum exhibit. Everyone arrived carrying a wish list disguised as a napkin. There are two honest ways to view this. Companies represent millions of workers, customers, and shareholders. Governments should hear them. But access is also a form of power, especially when ordinary citizens cannot book the next available dinner with the president. The White House celebrated enormous investment commitments. Meta discussed hundreds of billions. Project Stargate was announced at up to $500 billion. These are commitments, not cash already poured into concrete. In Washington, even the zeros arrive before construction. The administration calls this proof that lighter rules and aggressive industrial policy attract growth. That argument deserves attention. So does the distance between an announcement, a construction site, and a completed public benefit. Elon Musk brings rockets, satellites, X and XAI. In practical terms, that is transportation, communication, orbital infrastructure, and a machine that can answer questions about all three. Most dinner guests bring wine. Musk brings portions of the sky. Mark Zuckerberg brings Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, advertising systems, and AI. That means family photos, political arguments, business promotion, and the group chat your uncle uses at 2 a.m. can all live inside one corporate ecosystem. Jeff Bezos brings cloud infrastructure and logistics. Sundar Pichai brings search, Android, and Google's AI. Tim Cook brings devices and a supply chain crossing the planet. This dinner no longer needs a waiter. It needs a systems administrator. Sam Altman and the other AI leaders bring models that increasingly write, analyze, and advise. In 2025, the Defense Department awarded OpenAI a prototype agreement worth up to $200 million for national security work. The chatbot has acquired a badge. These companies are not simply wealthy guests near government. Their systems are becoming part of how government functions. The table is starting to look less like furniture and more like a motherboard with expensive cutlery. Then Trump placed something unusual on the table, himself, as a tradable digital token. The official Trump meme coin launched in January 2025. A political slogan had discovered a price chart. Democracy, apparently, now had in-app purchases. Filings describe a fixed supply of 1 billion tokens. A large portion was held by Trump-affiliated entities and released on a schedule. That does not automatically make the coin illegal. It does mean the fine print required more structural engineering than the mascot. The risk documents are unusually direct. Meme coins can have limited or no practical use. Prices may move violently. Liquidity can disappear. Buyers can lose everything. Utility was optional. Volatility showed up early and stayed for dessert. Reuters reported that Trump disclosed more than $1.4 billion in income from family crypto ventures for 2025. Reuters also found steep losses among many retail buyers, while managers placed significant proceeds into safer assets. Income is not profit, and not every buyer lost. The imbalance is still the story. A supporter can now be a voter, donor, customer, and token holder at the same time. Those roles used to occupy different buildings. Now they fit inside one phone, beside a shopping cart and a red campaign hat. This is where language matters. A confirmed disclosure is a fact. An ethics expert's warning is an attributed criticism. A lawsuit is an allegation. Our conclusion is interpretation. Mixing those drawers is how a documentary becomes a very expensive comment section. No explicit deal is required for proximity to have value. A dinner invitation, photograph, or promise of access can change what people believe an asset or a company might receive. At this table, the product is sometimes the chair itself. Trump's AI plan described a race for innovation, infrastructure, and global leadership. Supporters point to investment, jobs, and faster deployment. Critics see weaker guardrails and deeper dependence on companies already powerful enough to reserve their own place settings. Commercial AI is moving into federal systems, classified networks, and military prototypes. This can help analysts find patterns, defend software, and process information quickly. It also means private models may become tools the public depends on but cannot inspect. In June 2026, Trump directed agencies to accelerate AI across intelligence and warfighting. The memorandum called for advanced commercial and open models, secure computing, and rapid adoption. Autocomplete had entered the chain of command. The same directive requires systems to be reliable, controllable, and accountable. Human commanders remain responsible. Those safeguards matter. They also reveal the fear underneath the policy. Everyone wants faster AI, provided there is still a human-sized red button nearby. Now remove the plates. Replace them with a map of the Middle East. The technology table becomes a war table without changing many of its cables. Nobody ordered this course, but the bill has already left the kitchen. Trump authorized Operation Epic Fury against Iran in early 2026. His administration said it was targeting nuclear, missile, naval, and proxy threats. Critics challenged the strategy, legal basis, and risk of escalation. The conflict did not begin with one man, but this campaign required his decision. For months, threats, strikes, pauses, and possible deals arrived in rapid succession. Markets moved whenever the language changed. Traders were no longer only studying oil supply, they were refreshing the president's latest announcement. Military AI is not only a robot choosing targets. It can fuse intelligence, scan cyber threats, move supplies, translate communications, and recommend options. The final decision may remain human, but the menu of possible decisions is increasingly prepared by machines. The Strait of Hormuz is a narrow waterway carrying roughly 1/5 of internationally traded oil and gas in normal conditions. When shipping stalls, a conflict on one map reaches fuel pumps and power bills thousands of kilometers away. During July 2026, Brent crude swung between roughly $72 and $102 as expectations changed. A few presidential sentences could move prices within hours. Geopolitics had become a push notification attached to everyone's receipt. Tariffs add another layer. Trump says they protect American industry and create leverage. The WTO and IMF warn about slower trade, higher costs, and international spillovers. A tariff is sold as a wall. Supply chains often return it as a boomerang with shipping fees. The WTO expected merchandise trade growth to slow sharply in 2026. The IMF estimated that high American tariffs would also reduce American output relative to a world without them. Protection can save one factory and raise the bill at another. No secret conspiracy is necessary. Trump wants investment, capability, and visible business support. Companies want access, contracts, energy, and favorable rules. Crypto converts attention into money. AI converts private infrastructure into state capacity. The system can assemble itself in public. So look at the table again. Is it normal cooperation between government and industry? A temporary alliance where everyone uses everyone else? Or what modern oligarchy looks like before anybody agrees on the name? The answer may belong to the person whose chair stayed empty.